What's up, Crypto Crew, and welcome back, or if this is your first time, I'm Captain Crypto Might, actively escaping the matrix, scoping out the crypto oceans. If you like your odds, get on the boat, stay up to date, thumbs up, and join the hunt.
Into the boat!
Crypto Crew, today we're going to hear Christian Ludwig's take on the recent Kaspa and Bitcoin discussion and why Kaspa is just as good a store of value as Bitcoin, but just a better money.
Give me a second, I'll switch it up.
Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Before we continue, Crypto Crew, always remember to protect your crypto investments. Self-custody is key, especially during this 2025 bull run, and in my personal opinion, the Tangent wallet is your best option. Plug and play, easy to use, and the most affordable cold storage out there. So if you wish to order your Tangent wallet today, you can get 10% off using code CryptoCrew. Check out the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for your consideration and support in advance, and may the Lord Jesus Christ bless you all.
I was kind of in a group chat with Kaspa Silver, hyping him up for his big debate, but I was in one with Kaspa Silver. That was kind of a spontaneous podcast a few weekends ago.
If you have 95, 98% of your portfolio or your allocation in Kaspa or any other coin, you're going to get wrecked eventually.
99.99999% of everything is Bitcoin, but there are some,
including Kaspa.
Some, you could say you're entitled to say that.
Can we get Christian on?
And it wasn't really much of a debate because we were all making excellent factual points. And then the Bitcoiners' points were more like theological versus factual, which is that can be a reason to hold a coin and not to hold another one, is simply for theological reasons. But I really think the debate is healthy because these are the issues that I saw in Bitcoin as soon as I used it. Yeah. Back in 2017, when I got involved in crypto and I found out what a hardware wallet was, I bought my first one and I sent my Bitcoin off of Coinbase, and it took 20 minutes and I was literally freaking out, like texting my buddies who are more mature in crypto, like, what's going on? Is it lost? Yeah. Like, where is it? And then just sitting in front of the screen, refreshing. I was born in 1994, so I'm like right on the borderline of Gen Z and being a millennial. I'm technically a millennial. Maybe some of these boomers who hold Bitcoin, it's acceptable for them to receive it in 10 to 20 minutes, right? Because they came up with slow latency for everything. But our generation, it's just simply not acceptable. It doesn't compute in our heads that that's okay. There was a big scalability debate going on in Bitcoin, specifically at that time in 2017, the block size debate. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Litecoin. In retrospect, now in 2025, we're seeing the Bitcoin Kaspa debate as the new block size debate. It's fascinating to me that even before 2017, Jonathan Sampolinski, Aviv Zohar, Aspect, these guys were putting on scaling Bitcoin conferences, trying to persuade Bitcoin Core to scale Bitcoin in a manner that doesn't make any trade-offs, that doesn't just revert to a simple change like bigger blocks, like Bitcoin Cash. But it was a true solution and it was ignored. And now we understand some of the reasons why it was. In a healthy sense, Core wanted Bitcoin to be immutable and the code to change as little as possible, which is a valid argument and it's respectable. But the trade-off of that is you're not going to update your technology to where the tech stack has more end use cases. After 3 years in Kaspa, it's refreshing for me to see Kaspa be on the same stage as what I consider the block size debate.
Bitcoin has gone in very different direction from my point of view. It's really just become a collateral. It's become the safe asset. It's really trying to replicate gold in this era. Right. And it, as you say, it's safe. I can trust it. I think that's all really it's all about. Right. It's never going to become P2P cash, which Kaspa is aiming to be. Right. And I think this is why I personally took a step back and we don't get involved in the debates because, I find also from a different point of view of content that a lot of people are there just to really poke the Kaspa community. They don't have the right intent. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think the leading Bitcoin voices, including Michael Saylor, they're not delusional to the fact that Bitcoin is a medium of exchange on the layer one. And they refer to it as digital gold. They refer to it as store of value. Yeah. Even Michael Saylor's leaning more into that. Bitcoin specifically is competing against real estate, gold, etc., as a store of value.
Bitcoin's competing against gold, which is 10x what it is right now. It's competing against the S&P index. It's competing against real estate, $100 trillion plus asset class, as a store of value. So we believe capital is going to keep flowing from those asset classes into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is technically superior to those asset classes. That being the case, there's just no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers.
Without conviction, they kind of say, and then, on layer twos, it can scale as a medium of exchange.
Without conviction, right?
They say completely without conviction, because a little bit of research into it, you quickly understand that Lightning Network was talked about since I joined crypto in 2017.
Yeah.
Now it's a real thing, and it's been 8 years since it was first kind of introduced. And that's plenty of time for adoption. I even have an article from CNBC about Jack Dorsey saying the Lightning Network is going to be able to effectively scale and will be used by millions of people within the next 5 years. And that was an article in 2017. The fact of the matter is there's a few problems that people run into with Lightning. First and foremost, it is essentially banking. The Bitcoin's locked in like a multi-sig function on the base layer.
Yeah.
And then there's an IOU copy produced on the L2 layer. That's the first issue. So you're not bringing your sovereignty to the L2, and you're not bringing Bitcoin's massive scale of security and decentralization. Those are the stripes that Bitcoin deserves. And it's why I still hold some, because it's the best store of value. Kaspa is as good of a store of value pound for pound, but does Kaspa have as many nodes as Bitcoin? No. Does it have the level of hash rate Bitcoin has? No. But it's delusional to think that Lightning Bitcoin is L1 Bitcoin, because it's literally not. And it doesn't inherit the security and the decentralization of the L1. That's the first problem.
Yeah.
The second problem is you still have to do a transaction to lock your Bitcoin, even though it's not really be bridged over to the L2. And that requires one transaction on the L1. And one transaction on the L1 can cost $10 and it can take 20 minutes, which is acceptable for people who have thousands of dollars, or anyone in upper middle class and above. What about the people in El Salvador who maybe their net worth is like $1,000 and they have maybe $30 of spending money every single week after expenses? They can't afford to spend $10 each week to put $20 on the Lightning Network and spend that $20. So by default, you're pricing out, half of the world's socioeconomic status, and it's not acceptable. And it's not fair. There's a host of other issues like the watchtowers, the centralization aspect of it. There's a lot more technical things we can dive into, but just at the surface, just those two things alone are not acceptable to be the best money in the world. It's the best gold in the world.
Exactly.
And I think it may always will be.
Yeah.
But it's not. Kaspa is the best money in the world.
100%.
You can't believe in Kaspa based off adoption. You have to believe in it based off of tech and where it's going to go with its adoption. There's just so many check marks that have to happen. Both people have to be online at the same time. Both have to have Bitcoin in their wallet. It's not feasible. And anyone looking at it and saying it's a solution for Bitcoin MOE is delusional.
If it just ends up being store value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all. I think it has to be payments for it to be relevant. I think if it doesn't transition to payments and find that everyday use case, it just gets increasingly irrelevant. And that's failure to me.
He's building the Lightning Network and he's pushing that forward with Square and everything like that. And that's very commendable. And I think Lightning will have some use, but it's just simply not good enough. It's not cheap enough. It's not fast enough onboarding onto. It has way too many holes. And if you're going to have something be adopted globally as money, the user experience needs to be as simple as the L1. It's got to be like, I'm going to send from my wallet and I'm going to receive back. And it has to be that simple if non-crypto native people are going to adopt this type of money. I've been in crypto, like I said, since 2017. And there were Ethereum tokens back then, but there wasn't DeFi. Uniswap hadn't come out until I think 2020, 2021. We would trade our ERC20s on this exchange called Ether Delta. You would put your order in. If someone accepted the trade, then it would just send the ETH to one side and it would send the ERC20 to the other side. Not only was I there for the DeFi in 2020 and 2021, but I was there way before when there were ERC20s that were being traded on chain, basically. I got into DeFi in 2021. I got to experience Polygon. I got to experience BNB, Ethereum, you name it, right? And it's seeing the shortcomings of those chains that get you ready to understand a solution that Kaspa offers.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's not just seeing the issues in scalability. It's being around long enough to know that Solana's gone down 5 different times, that Hyperliquid just went down, that BitTensor, the chain was turned off by the founder because of an exploit. You have to be in the industry long enough and you have to play on all these different playgrounds for you to make your own assumptions of what type of trade-off every single chain is making. And then you discover something like Kaspa. And I know there's no such thing as no trade-offs. There's no such thing as a perfect trilemma, but Kaspa is as close as it comes to having little to no trade-offs and to being the best form of L1 money there is.
Crypto Crew, much more to come in a video near you. For now, big shout out to Christian Ludwig, repping Kaspa. Shout out to Ankit and the XXIM podcast. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good.
Stick around.
Fix your mind before you get to the grind. And with that said, let's continue to escape the matrix. Let's continue to be on the lookout for the next big thing here on the crypto ocean. Grow in grace, and let's make some crypto waves. Say I.